Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. Since it's really obvious that the Trump administration is trying really hard to keep the Epstein files and trafficking of young girls, children, babies, littles out of the news, I think we need to keep bringing it back every once in a while. And I thought one way to do that would be to honor Virginia Giuffre, and we could tap into her. I think it's enough time since she's crossed over. I did ask the Lead Team Collective, and they said yes, okay, that we could do this. So let's honor her a little bit with understanding her life. She is more than just a survivor, but she did bring a lot of attention to trafficking, which is incredible. Okay, it needed to happen. And I'm really kind of curious about if, and these are some questions we're going to ask her, is the trafficking, is it possible in the 3D for it to crumble and be dismantled completely? Or is this something that will always be an experience in the 3D? So I'm just curious about that, because as we continue to explore how much we need to pay attention to 3D issues while we're trying to shift to 5D, these are kind of things I think we need to know about, okay? Whether or not this is always going to be a part of the 3D experience, which means we don't have any control over that. So then how much energy and focus do we continue to put into it for those who are ready to move to the 5D? Okay, so we may not have any control over what the souls who want to stay experiencing 3D, the 3D environment, which is totally fine. People are not, spirits are not ready to transition from 3D to 5D. Many of us are. Okay, so as we move forward in the community, that's always going to be a question that I have, because I don't know the answer to that. We all are going to need to figure that out for ourselves. But I think it's a question worth asking. Okay, and I would love for you guys to leave your comments, give us a thumbs up on the video if this kind of topic is of importance to you. That would really help the channel. Subscribe. But if you leave comments, I would ask that your comments are of exploration type rather than saying, well, this is the way it is, this is how it's done. You know what I mean? Because we're all here exploring what's the most comfortable for each of us. So I am not telling you, I don't have the answers to anything. I'm just exploring the topics and helping us think about things from different viewpoints. Okay? And I don't believe any one of us knows 1,000% of the answers. The only ones who know are those in the other realm who know 100% of what's going on, because they can see the Akashic records, they can see things from every single angle, right? And sometimes people leave comments as if their viewpoint is the only way to look at things. And that's all I'm asking is please share your comments. I love them. But just try to put it in a way of this is one way to look at it. Okay? Because I want everybody here to feel like they can explore any topic and then trust their own intuition rather than being completely swayed by one person's opinion. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go, and I'm going to use the dowsing rods. We are going to talk directly to Virginia, okay? But let's do a little bit of an intro first, all right? So Virginia Giuffre, it's J-O-O, the pronunciation is J-O-O Frey, F-R-A-Y. I know I've heard some people say Giuffre, but it's actually with a J, okay? So Virginia Giuffre was more than a survivor. She was a daughter, a wife, a mother, and a fierce advocate for others. Born in California in 1983, she grew up between California and Florida, including time in foster care. She became a voice for trafficking survivors, founding the nonprofit SOAR, S-O-A-R. So you could look into that if you wanted to look into providing some support. So founding the non, and I don't know anything about it, so this is not an endorsement for them. Okay, so make sure you look deep in there if you're going to support. Okay, so founding the nonprofit SOAR to help others heal and fight back. She also built a family life in Australia, raising 3 children with her husband. In April 2025, sadly, it's reported at age 41 that she unalived herself in Western Australia. She is having a memoir come out. They just announced a memoir called Nobody's Girl, which I think is an amazing title. Nobody's Girl, that's scheduled for release in October 2025. Okay. So just a reminder, this is entertainment purposes only, based on public available facts and reliable sources. Claims, events, and statements are alleged unless confirmed by official records. Okay. All right, a little bit of a timeline about Virginia. So her early life, 1983, she was born in Sacramento, California. Early 1990s, she moved to Florida, experiencing instability in foster care. So that tends to be who, at least from what I understand, who Epstein was and Maxwell were highly interested in, those with instability in foster care. Okay, not necessarily foster care, but those who were struggling, basically, young people who were struggling. In 1999, age 16, Virginia met Epstein while working at Mar-a-Lago. Maxwell recruits her into Epstein's circle. So Maxwell recruited her into Epstein's circle. Okay. In 1999 to 2002, 99, 2001, 2, so 4 years, she was trafficked internationally by Epstein and Maxwell's involvement. In 2009, she settled a civil case with Epstein for $500,000. So I don't know what happened in between those, how it got from 2002 to 2009, but that would be for a different time. Okay. So from 2015 to 17, she filed a defamation lawsuit against Maxwell. The case is settled in 2017, files later unsealed. 2019, courts unseal portions of Virginia versus Maxwell, fueling public awareness. In 2020, Maxwell arrested and later convicted of trafficking-related crimes. I just didn't even realize myself that it was due specifically for Virginia's case. Okay, so I'm glad to know that now. Okay, in December 2019, BBC Panorama airs Virginia's interview with Prince Andrew. Palace denies allegations. Oh, about Prince Andrew, not with Prince Andrew. Okay. Palace denies allegations. 2021 files a civil suit against Prince Andrew in New York. February 2022, settlement reached. Prince Andrew admits no liability. Reports suggest millions paid. Later life and advocacy. From 2015 onward, she built a family life in Australia with her husband and 3 children. Expanded advocacy through SOAR. It's called Speak Out, Act, and Reclaim. That's what SOAR stands for. And again, January 2024, more Maxwell-related documents are unsealed, drawing further attention. So that was January, like a year and 9 months ago. Okay, year and 8 months ago. Okay, so final years. We talked about Virginia unaliving herself just this past April. Okay, and then about her memoir. Okay, so a little bit about the current events with Maxwell, because I do want to ask Virginia a few questions about this. So as you probably know, because this is kind of current news, I mean, it is current news. August 2025, Maxwell is transferred to a minimum security country club style prison following a DOJ interview, which apparently the interview has come out with her saying Trump had nothing to do with it. but she just happened to be, transferred to the country club style before that. I mean, do they think we're really that dumb? I mean, I really, 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 really hope that Meg not falling for that. I really, really hope. I'm not paying. I'm trying to just, keep in touch, but not get too deep in the weeds. So I don't know. Clemency bid. Maxwell reportedly requested leniency or immunity. Virginia's family strongly opposed, saying survivors are saying no. Okay. So DOJ tapes, Maxwell mocks Virginia. She mocks her in the DOJ tapes. Disputes the famous photo, of her and Prince Andrew. And defends some powerful associates. So I didn't even realize that was in the tape. She actually mocks Virginia in the tape. Un-effing believable. It's un-effing believable. Is it though? It's just, she's already been convicted of these things. So anyways, okay. Try to leave my... Okay, let's talk to Virginia. Let's see what she has to say about all this, okay? All right. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and only those of the highest and purest light, and including the lead team collective, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is only of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, you guys. So I've already thanked my team today, but I'll just say thank you to the lead team collective for all your guidance and support. If you guys are so moved to do that, that would be amazing as well, to give them a little gratitude. So lead team, hello. Are you comfortable with us talking with Virginia Giuffre, the spirit of Virginia Giuffre? And is Virginia comfortable? Is her spirit comfortable talking to us? Is this something she wants to do? So they keep saying yes. Okay. Is there anything in front of me that would not be in our highest and best interest to know about in terms of questions? No. Okay. All right. So why don't we bring in Virginia? So Virginia, hello. Thank you so much for your time. Big hugs, love, so much love coming your way. So proud of you. I don't know if I would have had that much courage as you had when you were in human form. So you guys, please send Virginia, if you're in the chat right now, send lots of hearts, okay? And in the comments as well. Lots of hearts coming your way. Really am so grateful for you taking all the time and the energy that you had to take to bring awareness to this trafficking issue on Earth in the 3D. So thank you so much. Okay. So again, you guys, if you can, send love and light to her right now, it'll be way more powerful than any words I could have just said to her. Okay. So yeah, she keeps just saying yes, yes, yes. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. So Virginia, are you comfortable answering these questions that I have in front of me? Yes. Okay. As always, I just like to say this mostly for us, you guys. If there's anything that's not in our highest and best interest or in yours as a soul to let us know about, please refrain from answering, okay? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about questions that people have been skeptical about, things that people wonder about in the news, that sort of thing, okay? So we can kind of just clear some of that stuff up. Okay, and then we'll move a little bit more into the spiritual. Okay, so Virginia, were you ever pressured to change your story once it gained attention? Yes. And just to remind you guys, this is entertainment purposes only, obviously. Okay, yes. Did the Duke of York ever apologize to you behind the scenes? Yes. Wow, that's impressive. Okay. Were you ever paid by media outlets to shape your story in a certain way? No. And again, these are things that have come up, which is why we're answering them. Okay. These are not things I wondered about. These are things that have come up in the news or she's been accused of or whatever, you know? Okay. Did lawyers for powerful figures try to discredit you privately? Yes. Okay. Sorry, I have to keep moving I feel like you were turned a little weird. Okay. Was the infamous photo of you and the Duke authentic and unaltered? Look at that really wide swing. Yes. Don't let, I mean, obviously, who's going to believe Maxwell at this point? I mean, come on. All right. Did the palace or royal aides ever offer hush money beyond the settlement? No. Okay. Well, was the settlement, because it said, I don't think it's ever been disclosed. Was the settlement by the Duke of York in the millions? Yes. Was it more than 5 million? Yes. Was it more than 10 million? No. Okay. Let's see. Did blah, 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 blah. Did you ever embellish details just to force the world to listen? Again, these are questions that have been um, people have been speculating about. Okay. It's interesting because she did start saying yes. So let me read that again because I was talking. So she might have been referring to something I was talking about. Did you ever embellish details just to force the world to listen? No. Did you ever embellish details? No. Okay. Were any US politicians directly involved with the network as far as you know? Yes. Did any of your closest allies later betray you by leaking private information? Aw, yes. Sorry about that. That really sucks. Were investigators in the US or UK complicit in protecting Epstein? Yes. Investigators, like trusted official investigators? Yes. Is that because there are a lot of people involved in this whole thing that are have a lot of money? Yes. I really don't like when people connect people who have a lot of money and say they're powerful. I mean, I don't know, there's just a disconnect for me there. It's like the rich and powerful, you know. I just don't like, okay, the rich, you know. I mean, I get what people are saying. I actually somehow there's something in that that makes me feel really uncomfortable. I think anyone who's just called powerful, you know, like we're all, I think it's just from a spiritual perspective, we're all powerful, all of us. So when we label someone else as rich and powerful, okay, they're rich. Okay, I get that. But when we label them rich and powerful, I feel like that takes, I'm just processing this out loud right now. I've never really thought this through, but I think that's it. It's like they're powerful, meaning we're not, if they're rich and powerful. You know what I mean? That's kind of interesting. I know I've always had an issue with it, but I've never really processed why. There we go. You get all my, live ahas. Okay, let's look at what people have wondered about, like on social media and all that kind of stuff. Did you ever meet survivors who stayed silent because they feared being unalived? Yes. Okay. Did Epstein's wealth and properties make escape nearly impossible once recruited? Yes. Is that still the case for this network? Yes. Okay. Was there a system of recruiters working under Maxwell beyond what has been reported? Yes. Was that really like it's kind of like I don't want, it's not a Ponzi scheme, but what did you call Amway? That whole I forgot like they had one person recruit another person because they'd get $200 and then the next girl would get $200 if she brought friends. I mean, it's unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Is that pretty much how it's basically survivors recruiting survivors, correct? At least that's what she's saying yes. At least that's what the Netflix series presented. Like this whole web, if you haven't watched that, you don't need to, but this whole web of one girl who was a survivor or even not a survivor. One girl was like, I'm not doing that. But then they offered her money to bring in more of her friends. And then her friends would get abused and then they would be offered money to bring in more of their friends. So it was all money driven and abuse. So, and I'm sure a lot of psychological abuse as well. So, okay. So is that pretty much how it worked? So is that who the recruiters were under Maxwell basically? Is like young girls recruiting other young girls because they were paid to do that? And these were girls that needed money. I mean, they were not well off. Yes. Okay. Were the flight logs incomplete or tampered with? Yes. Did your own legal team ever hold back names to protect negotiations? Yes. Did documentaries or films misrepresent your actual words? Yes. Does Maxwell's transfer to a country club style prison, we'll know the answer to this, but I just wanted to ask it, reflect powerful protection rather than justice? Yes. Okay. Is it in a protection of Trump? Yes. Well, let me just ask you, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, is Trump's name in the Epstein files? Yes. As a participant? Yes. Was Trump really surprised that his name was in there? Yes. Jeez. Well, no wonder. I mean, no wonder he used it as part of his platform for, stealing the election, we'll say. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go a little deeper. Hopefully these questions will lead us into, a better frame of mind about this. Okay. There's no better frame of mind, but from a spiritual perspective. Okay. Do you see now, this is for Virginia, that focusing on famous names distracted from exposing the patterns? So is that the case? Yes. Okay. Is forgiveness impossible for some of those who participated? No. Okay, see, she's coming from spirit now. I would have been surprised if she said yes, just coming from spirit. Okay. Has your soul forgiven anyone who's been involved in this situation? Yes. Okay. Was this a part of your soul contract to bring light to this situation? Yes. Okay. And so how does your soul feel about the amount of light that you were able to bring? Was it more than you had expected in soul and your spirit? Like, while your spirit has done the review, your life review, did you accomplish more than you were hoping to when you came down to earth? Yes, great. So there is a lot more light on this subject now than, let's say, ever before. Yes. And is that due to you? Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Virginia. Amazing. I'm sure, I mean, I know it's for other with other people too, but you are leading the way. Is that correct? Yes. That's awesome. Okay. Let's see. Does public obsession with scandal, like well, this is, you know what I mean, scandal. It's kind of a weird word. Lower the vibration. Okay, so does the obsession with this, like, because you just never know, like, who's printing what and, who's trying to keep it in the news, who's trying to keep it out of the news, that kind of thing. Does it lower the vibration instead of helping victims heal? No. Okay, good. So keeping it in the public light, I wouldn't even say a public obsession. Okay, maybe public obsession about it, whatever it needs to be. Is that helpful? Do you want us to continue focusing on this? Yes. Okay. Is that part of the 3D experience now that we need to continue bringing light to this issue? Yes. Okay. If we do that, is trafficking of young girls always going to be a part of the 3D experience on Earth? No. Okay. Okay. Excellent. And is that due to all the light you have brought to this? Okay. I keep wanting to say issue, but it's just so much bigger than an issue that I can't find the words for it. Yes. Well, thank again, Virginia. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Is your story now being used by spirit to spark prevention more than punishment? Let me let me ask that again. I'm not quite sure what that means. Is your story now being used by spirit to spark, oh, okay, to spark prevention? Like, let's prevent this whole thing. Okay. Are you able to continue? Is this something your soul is continuing to work on now that you're in the other realm, now that you transitioned? Yes. Okay. Did your soul, was it part of your soul contract to leave Earth? I know the answer to this, but leave Earth when you did? And that was an exit point that you decided to take, correct? Yes. Is that because you could do more in spirit form at this point than you could as a human? Yes. Okay. Awesome. And so this is something you're going to continue to work on? Not that you have to, but that you are going to continue to work on? Awesome. Yes. Okay. Well, and so are you basically bringing light and energy to those who have the power, the knowledge, the credentials, maybe lawyers and stuff like that, to support survivors and continue dismantling the network of trafficking? Yes. Okay, good. All right. Let's see. Would granting. All right, I'm curious about this. Is granting, what are your thoughts about granting Maxwell clemency? Is this a part of, yes, okay, I wonder about that. I was going to say, like, is this a part of what has to be done actually? Yes, in order to bring, like, is her clemency or immunity or whatever, her lightening of her sentence or being sent to the country club, is this actually bringing more attention? Yes, okay. So is it worth our energy to be upset about Maxwell getting this lighter attention? Is it worth our energy? No. Okay. Because it will actually backfire and bring more attention to it? Yes. Oh, good. Okay, good. Okay, I am going to ask, entertainment purposes only, but Virginia, did you unalive yourself? You did. Okay, she did. Okay. Or did somebody unalive you? No. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see. A couple more questions here. In the next 5 years, is humanity capable of making a real dent in dismantling traffic? Great. In the next 5 years? Awesome. Okay. And I just want to confirm that for those who choose to stay in 3D experience on Earth versus 5D, trafficking will trafficking continue to be of girls? Will trafficking of girls be sorry, will it continue to be an experience that those who stay in 3D will have to experience? No. Okay. So 3D, as far as you can see, Virginia, is going to be a better 3D experience than what it is right now for those who choose to stay. Oh, that's cool. Yes. Okay. Um, in the next 10 years, will higher consciousness movements begin to outpace the demand for trafficking, like in the network? Will higher consciousness outpace that, basically? Yes. Great. Will that be less than 10 years? Yes. Okay. Is it possible that trafficking of young girls will be nearly eradicated in let's just start with in developed nations? Is that possible? Yes. Okay. Will that be done in the next 10 years? No. Okay, so from your spirit's view, is the destruction of the trafficking framework worldwide, the destruction of it, inevitable as part of human evolution? Yes. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Okay. So let me just ask one more thing, because I know sometimes we leave here wondering, what can we do? What can we do? Is it is what can the average person like myself do to help bring this framework to an end? The framework, the network. Is there something more we have to do than just be aware of the situation? No. Okay. If we are not led to actively get involved, is that because it's not a part of our soul contract to do that? Yes. Okay. Are there enough souls on Earth right now who it is a part of their soul contract to help dismantle this entire framework and network of trafficking? Yes. Would we know that as adults? Would we know if we were really called to be a part of that? Yes. Okay. So our job, if we are not necessarily called to be directly involved, is our job just to be aware and perhaps put some pressure on public, authority figures, that sort of thing? Yes. Okay. So keeping light on it, just keep light on it. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, let me just say thank you to Virginia. Virginia, amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Let us know, just shoulder tap anybody in this community who, who you think would be helpful in continuing the work in this destruction and dismantling of the network and the framework, okay? And this way, you guys, you'll know if you get like some kind of inspiration, then you can count on that being part of your work to do. If you're not inspired, like I got inspired to talk with her today. So that means that, I don't know, something came to me and I was like, you know what? We've got to talk to Virginia. And so that was part of, maybe, hey, Virginia, any chance you shoulder tapped me with that inspiration? Yes. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Okay, so if you get inspired and it's something that you can do, then go for it. But if you don't feel like you have to be involved in every single issue because there's so many right now, isn't there, in the 3D? So, okay, Virginia, thank you so much. And big love to you and all the light. And thanks again for all the work you're doing here on earth and in spirit. So, all right, big hugs to Virginia and big hugs to you guys. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.